It is the best day of Melchizedek. It is the best day of the King of Salem. It is the best day of Melchizedek. It is the best day of God of my King. From the super rays of Melchizedek. And Daddy, I know soon I will see you. Like a sensible virgin, I'll be waiting for you. Always and forever, my lamp will be full. To serve you, my God, to serve you, my King. We are your people, Melchizedek.
Hello, White Super Race. Today's topic is the Desolation of Abomination, Lesson 674.
So then, today, we bring a topic titled The Desolation of Abomination. Matthew 24:15. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, and it says in parentheses, whoever reads, let him understand. Whoever reads, let him understand. Leading us to believe that this would definitely be revealed. Now I'm going to take you to the book of Daniel in chapter 12, verses 11 and 12. It says, and from the time that the constant sacrifice is taken away until desolation of abomination. So then it continues saying, there shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,335 days. Look at what it says in Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. It says, then he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, but in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. He shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of abomination shall be the desolator, even until the consummation, what is determined is poured out on the desolator. When we remember the day, May 28th, 2014, we were able to see the rise of someone who we have called the angel who deserted. Let's remember that in the first tracing of our mother, she spoke of 3 angels. She is the first angel with a book in her hand who would preach the eternal gospel. She is doing that. In the same way, she spoke of 2 other angels, a character who is the second angel that she referenced to is Mr. Martin Guillo, who is the second angel. This second angel, which is this angel that deserted that I am talking about right now, the fact that this wicked man, this abominable being has appeared and has manifested is very important, and it should not be a reason to surprise or shock us or pull our hair out. No, relax. Everything is in Dad's plan. To that 28th of May 2014, what happened that day? It was a day of tracing. That was a day when the preaching of our mother needed to be presented, the message of our mother. What happened that day? The wicked man interrupted the tracing. So then we can understand and assume that when the prophet Daniel speaks of the constant sacrifice, he is talking about our tracing, about our meetings. Why does he call it constant sacrifice? Well, of course, because it is constant. If you notice, we have them on Wednesdays and Sundays, meaning there is a continuation. There is a diligence of that activity. And why is it called sacrifice? Well, because that is where we present sacrifice of praise, and there we present our tithing and our offerings that are also sacrificed to our God. They are fragrance for our God. So then that was interrupted there. That is why it says the constant sacrifice and the offering. That is where we take our tithings and our offerings. I repeat, we present these gifts, their actions, to our God. Well, that was interrupted, and it was interrupted that day. And it was interrupted that day of an action by an abominable action, meaning a desolation of abomination. It says in Matthew 24:15, it says, let's go over that point. Jesus of Nazareth spoke about that. Therefore, when you see, listen to me carefully, the desolation of abomination spoken of by Daniel the prophet. And it was very interesting because we were able to see it. We were able to see it. It was something that was transmitted. Matthew 24 from 21 through 22. For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. Now, there are two terms here that we have to look at in detail. The being saved makes reference to the salvation of the body, meaning that we are talking specifically about the transformation. But notice that it says, unless those days were shortened, nobody would be saved. When it says nobody, who is the nobody? Well, that nobody would be saved are all of those who are on the opposing side. So then it leads us to believe that there are, like our mother has taught us, there are some that because of the mercy, I repeat, the mercy of our parents, that they have agreed that some people that left, maybe because they were fooled, clumsy sheep that left, well, that might have the opportunity to come back, the opportunity to return. I would like to clarify something that is very important here. When in this point, in this text, it talks about the elect, it is not talking about us, the wise virgins. Not at all. Why? Because we, the wise virgins, were not fooled. But there were people who were moved. Some people fell into the curse of the desolator, well, obviously, so that they can return.
But Hugo does such a great job explaining. He's a teacher. We learn so much from him, and he confirms everything that we're saying. The desolation of abomination that your brother Hugo mentioned is nothing more than the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. Note that Martin is Satan. Look what Jesus and Mary said there in Matthew chapter 12. If Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then will his kingdom stand? That is why Martin is Satan, because he divided the kingdom of the light to build his own, the one that was in his mind of darkness. Enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods, unless he first binds the strong man, and then he will rob his house. He who is not with me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters abroad. And what is it that this person has done and is doing? He is against me and scatters. And what is the definition of scattering? To disperse, devastate, or separate across something that was together. And we were together. And he caused separation. Verse 31. Therefore I say to you, every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven men, but the blasphemy against the Spirit will not be forgiven. Anyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man, it will be forgiven. But whoever speaks against the Holy Spirit, it will not be forgiven him, either in this age or in the age to come. I say the same thing the king said. You can say what you want about my flesh, but don't mess with what I'm saying. If you don't like it, it's easy. Don't look at me. Just listen. But if you don't like what I'm saying, it's better if you leave peacefully and don't speak or go against what I'm saying. Because then there is no forgiveness. When it says speaking against the Holy Spirit, it applies now because the Holy Spirit is present in me. Those that have not heard of this light have forgiveness because God is merciful. Now let's see another proof that he is Satan, the old serpent, the devil, and the dragon. They are all the same. Look at how it says in second letter to the Thessalonians chapter 2, 8. And then the lawless one will be revealed, whom the Lord will consume with the breath of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming. It says that the Lord himself would destroy with the spirit of his mouth, and he would destroy him with the brightness of his coming. The coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. The coming means an arrival, for having his sights set on the desires and the things of men. His work is according to Satan. Martin is right there, the father of lies. Abba, Father, beloved, big things are coming. What a joy! Everything we are living today is because the Lord is not a liar, and he does keep his promises. A big hug, my very beloved children. We will see you very soon, blessed with all blessing.
We the Super Race thank our God Melchizedek Michael because they teach us that the desolate abomination took place on May 28, 2014, when the tracing of our mother to the nations was interrupted and we couldn't give our sowing of love. We also know that Martin is Satan because he lives in his carnal mind and causes division in the kingdom. But soon, we will see his end come. We love you, Mom, for being so brave and for enlightening us and defending us.
It is the best day of Melchizedek. It is the best day of the King of Salem. It is the best day of Melchizedek. It is the best day of God of my King. I am a brave soldier for you, my King. I am a firm warrior. For you I will fight, even though the battle has already been won. I will always defend you forever, my King, to serve you, my God.